Hello everyone, Luke and Sam back again with PSGL F3. Apologies for the slight interruption there, bit of a problem with the lobby, and the game decided to just throw a fit and sort the problem for us by kicking everyone out. But we are back with the race, so Kazizel will still be on pole position, Ginger will still be in second, and like we were saying just before it kicked us out, everyone in the top 10, they'll have to start on the soft tyres because that's the tyres they qualified on, but they'll have fresh tyres.
Yeah, and that's a huge disadvantage for those outside the top 10 now, because inside the top 10 is now where you'd want to be, most certainly, because those soft tyres now are going to be able to stretch a bit longer, and you're going to have a lot more security going on to those medium tyres. As for before, perhaps you weren't so secure about it. So these soft tyres will be able to stretch about 1 or 2 laps longer, which isn't that much, really, but if you think about it, it still means quite a bit for some people. So, really, this could be a really interesting race for the top 10. And, well, we'll just have to wait and see if the strategies, again, works out for those outside the top 10 who did go onto the soft tyres. Because they're also going to be an interesting factor in the first couple of laps. And they will need to make positions as soon as possible. I'm speaking about Super Mario in 17th because I believe he's the only one with medium tyre drivers ahead of him, so he will need to make his moves almost but certainly immediately and get right behind into 12th place, because the other one I believe was Toxic in 11th. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, I think Toxic was definitely the lead car on the medium tyres. Kalsper, well, all those outside the top 10, to be honest, can go on whatever tyre they want. If they've changed their mind in between, they are allowed to change. It's just those in the top 10 qualified on the soft. So to make it as fair as possible, they've got to start the race on the soft. But with that extra couple of laps, that should give them a slight advantage. There's the grid once again. Then, so as we saw, Kazizel took pole position. Ginger took an... Oh, Kalza. Why is there always one?
What's he done?
He's on the mediums.
Why is he on the mediums? Oh, dear.
Oh, well, he's getting disqualified over me starting for a third time. And I've got work in the morning, so...
Great. I doubt we'll restart for a third time. I think Super Mario as well will be disqualified.
Outside the top 10, it makes no difference. But Calzo didn't qualify in the top 10 on the mediums.
Sneaky right there. And again with Super Mario... Like, you know, oh, I've made a mistake. I didn't mean to go on soft tyres. I meant to go on the medium tyres. That's the better option, so I'm going to switch it because I've got a good chance here. Well, we spotted them two out, so I wonder if they will get penalised with a disqualification for that. And I'm almost but certain they will get some sort of big punishment.
I mean, Toxic can simply be disqualified for the formation lap. I think Super Mario might just get away with it because he was going to be on fresh tyres anyway. I think Calzo definitely won't get away with it. So, in fact, just seeing on the PSN chat, Cherry Tupai, the admin, has put Kalsper will be disqualified. So, it's a bit Nigel Mansaleski. If he's already been disqualified from the race pretty much, he can now just go around doing what he wants. So, hopefully, doesn't take anyone out. Otherwise, that will really annoy a few people. But we're nearly back underway again around this Interlagos circuit. First used in Formula 1 in 1973, 1980, I believe, was the last time they used it before going over to Rio for a few years, and then this much shortened version returned there with Ayrton Senna taking a famous win here in 91 and Felipe Massa coming so close to the title as we wait for the final drivers to get onto the grid. Can Kalsper, can he get a podium? Can he somehow get that 10th win of the season starting from the back of the grid? We will be finding out soon enough, as hopefully this time, there we go, it looks like we are getting somewhere. It looks like we have got 3 lights, 4 lights and 5 lights. The season finale is underway then here, and it is a pretty decent start from Kazizel. Ginger's not going to be able to go alongside him, and is that going to have to go defensive with Black Phoenix trying to get all the way around the outside at turn 1. That would give him the inside for 2, but in the end Ginger is able to hold on. Big crash in the background. That is Calzo. Boss wanted. I'm not sure if anyone else is involved in that. Can't quite see Cherry Tupai. I think that might just be all of them that is involved. Thankfully, they're all able to carry on, but no safety car needed. Kazizel getting away then, and Ginger just managing to stay ahead of Black Phoenix, who is all over the back of the Alfa Romeo at the moment.
Yeah, and Carlsberg he got a good start off the line, but in turn one he just got swamped, and this incident didn't help really. This incident was rather major. I'm not sure who caused it. I couldn't quite see who caused it. It was all Toxic pushing simply a bit too wide there onto the grass. He does lose only one position simply, but he would not be happy with that one. Annoyingly, things are going. What on earth is going on at the front here? Wing damage everywhere. Everyone just stopped. I don't know who's.
I think Ginger must have had a moment, and Black Phoenix must have been so close to him that he's just gone into the back of him, because Black Phoenix has had to come into the pits, and now he's got a penalty for a severe collision with Toxic, who's nowhere near him on track.
What on earth is going on? Have we got a virtual safety car or something, or a safety car?
We've got a full safety car. There's no retirements. I have answers on a postcard, please, as to what happened there.
It's not telling me that there's a safety car, and also, like you said, Ginger, he just randomly, if it was Ginger, something happened and it caused a massive chain reaction, and everyone's losing front wings left, right and centre. I'm not sure who it was who was losing front wings there, but this race has just been so chaotic. Look at all the people in the pit lane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the pits there, coming out the pits, and an interesting strategy from all of them. I don't know if there was any more wing damage. There was. Toxic's got wing damage from somewhere, but I don't know where he's got it. Gabri slowing down there, that looked a little bit suspicious, but didn't seem to be the case. But a lot of wing damage and a lot of incidents in this first lap, and been a really, really chaotic start, I must say.
So, the race director's not really provided us with much, apart from Toxic and Black Phoenix getting 5-second penalties, which may have happened after the safety car. At the start, Carlsberg, Cherry 2 Pie, Toxic, Boss Wanted, D-Screen, all getting warnings for having incidents with various people, as we do now see Toxic coming to the pits to repair that front wing damage. I just saw a yellow flag, and I saw the gap between Kazizel and Ginger go up all of a sudden, but unfortunately, we didn't quite see what happened. The camera angle wasn't the best at the time, but they have now caught up to the safety car, and they have all stayed out. In fact, I think the only ones to pit off the soft tyres were Black Phoenix, who had the damage, and Toxic was on the mediums as well, so I'm not... obviously Calzo as well, he's starting in the top 10, but he's now pitted onto the soft tyres. Carlsberg back into the pits again, so it looks like he's...
Getting pen removed.
Yeah, getting the pen removed makes sense, and it'll be a set of mediums, so he'll be going on pretty much back where he started, pretty much, trying to see what he can do. Black Phoenix in again as well to put the soft tyres back on to get his pen removed. Toxic will have done the same. Just an absolutely crazy start to this race. Hopefully we'll be able to get underway soon. We'll see who the big winners and losers were from all that then. Forever up 2, Zach up 4. You can see D-Screen Super Mario up 6, Ryan up 5, and biggest loser, Black Phoenix, was in 4th place, was looking really racy at the start of the race. He's got himself up to 3rd, nearly got himself up to 2nd. He's now down in 17th.
Oh, yeah. Black Phoenix, I think, got a bit of wing damage, and perhaps obviously it's backed up by the penalty he received. Lars down to 12th. Interesting strategy. He must have got wing damage. If he did not get wing damage, I don't really know where he's going with this one, because it's most certainly a 2-stop. I'm guessing he's trying to do... Well, he's going to do medium soft with this opportunity, while all the front runners will be doing soft and medium. So this could actually be very inspiring from Lars here. However, the guys ahead, Super Mario, D-Screen and Ryan, also perhaps having a little bit more inspiration here, being on those medium tyres, because they could turn out to actually be really, really good in the future. But it just depends how quickly these soft tyre runners can get away when the safety car finally peels in to the pits, which should be at the end of this lap.
Yeah, and I think that it pretty much ends any concerns of us seeing anyone use the hard tyres now, because they won't be using as much tyres under the safety car, they won't be using as much fuel, so they can save everything, and then not as much as a management race down maybe for some of these drivers. The 2 Alfa Romeos staying ahead, Kazizel in the lead, Ginger then second. A great start from Kazizel. He did seem to be escaping from his teammate before all that kicked off. Cohen seemed to get through relatively unscathed, although he has lost a couple of positions. He's now down in 5th. Pitmat 6th, Gabri in 7th, Simply 8th, Ryan 9th, D-Screen 10th, and then Mario, Lars, Calzo, Toxic, Boss Wanted, Cherry 2 by Black Phoenix and Carlsberg outside the points at the moment. But despite all that chaos, despite 2 quite sizable incidents on lap 1, we do still have every car in the race. The safety car is now coming into the pits, and it is quite late decision. So Kazizel, you've got to go pretty late here because you don't want to give everyone a lovely slipstream all the way down towards turn 1.
Yeah, and Kazizel will know when to go. He'll know pretty much when to go. A lot of these guys do know how this all works and everything by now, and I'll be very surprised if Ginger keeps up with Kazizel. He'll go pop any second now, and he'll get going. He's slowly revving up the engine. There we go. Underway then. Has he got a good start away? Oh, it was quite mediocre, but it was good for both the Alfa Romeos, as Ferreira didn't quite catch it too well. But it's decent from Kazizel there. Kind of sort of got Ginger out of the way, but not much he can do.
We've got a Ferrari around in the background. That was Super Mario. Yeah, Ferreira didn't get the best start, but Zach got too good of a start and couldn't take advantage of it as Calzo is now battling with Lars. Lars trying to go all the way around the outside at turn 4. That'll be a brave move if he can hold it off. Fair play to Calzo. We've given him the space, but Lars, he's got a wheel alongside.
No!
And they've touched, and that just looked a bit inevitable in the end. They're coming across on track. That could have gone horribly wrong. Lars is nearly around again, but able to continue. Someone is having a big crash in this race and retiring because we've come so close so far to losing about 6 or 7 different cars.
How on earth have we not caught a retirement of some sort so far? I do not know. All the incidents just seem to be small ones. I don't really know how to judge this one between Lars and Calzo. It was a bit of an interesting one. I felt like Lars was there, however, I don't think Calzo gave him enough space. It was quite difficult, really, to judge. We will have to see when or if it goes to the stewards. The 2 Haas boys battling it out with Boss Wanted taking over D-Screen respectively. I feel like that might be just something tactical there, because look who's coming up behind him. It is the almighty Kalsper, who will be saying bow down to him from D-Screen. And look at this, you said about this, he's going to be focusing more on getting these moves on the straight start, and look at that, late braking into the corner, maybe not the best exit, but puts his car perfectly in the right position, so D-Screen can't get back to Kalsper. Now up to 11th, and I tell you something now, he's on a hunt.
He is on the hunt indeed. Chevy 2-Pipe ran a bit wide there. I'm not sure if he was forced off perhaps by D-Screen or Boss Wanted when the Haas drivers were battling, but Chevy 2-Pipe having to take to the escape mode through the centre S, now drops to 15th behind his teammate, and he's got Calzo all over the back of him, who was one of those early pit stop. Lars now down in last position, and yeah, I think Calzo was just trying to move across to maybe get a run on D-Screen. Didn't realise Lars still had a bit of his car alongside, and that just led to that slight bit of contact between them. DRS will be enabled next time around then, I believe. So Kazizel is leading, Ginger second, Ferreira in third at this moment in time. Can he get himself another podium? Could he get himself a win? Ryan leading out of those on the medium tyres at the moment, and now we're in DRS train territory. Everyone down to Super Mario is going to have DRS at this moment in time, so making an overtake really difficult. The undercut is going to be extremely powerful as Lars uses the fact that the Ferrari's got no DRS to get himself up into 17th.
Yeah, and now he'll be on the charge, whether how effective it would be. Look at Calzo going up the inside. That was always going to be a disaster. And I tell you something now, I don't think Lars would be... I think Lars would be sitting there and thinking karma, and, well, I don't know what he's doing there. He's just gone wide. Let Super Mario by, but doesn't seem to be as tall familiar to this track in the race. But down the inside he goes, and he's been battling with Super Mario, but... I mean, Calzo has made a bit of questionable decisions in this race. Looking to go up the inside of Cherry 2-Pipe didn't work whatsoever and left him spinning around. I tell you what though, the 2 Renaults once again have not really had the race we would have wanted. Cherry 2-Pipe down in 15th, he would have wanted to at least make some sort of ground, and Pitmat down 7 places, but I believe he did pick up some sort of wing damage, so unfortunate for both the Renaults. They're now in a very poor position considering that they could have actually had a potentially decent races.
Yes, indeed. Somehow, despite all what's happened to Cherry 2-Pipe, he is actually in the same place that he started, and he's on the medium tyres, so maybe he can just go a slight bit longer. Carlsberg not really threatening Boss Wanted at the moment, and might actually start coming under more pressure from Black Phoenix soon, who is on the soft tyres, so it's overlooking very close between them. Toxic in the other McLaren, all over the back of Simply. In fact, going for a move down the inside there. And that is very close indeed. He's going to have the outside all the way around here on the way to Young Sao, and you're not going to get left any room whatsoever on the outside around there. Simply just shutting off the door. Will Toxic be able to get a fantastic run? They're both going to have DRS here, but just look how close Toxic is to the back of the AlphaTauri. Make sure he doesn't get shoved towards the pit lane here. He's got the inside line for the centre S. Is he going to be able to get the move done on the AlphaTauri? Oh! Not sure if he just moved across ever so slightly there, but in the end, Simply finds himself off the circuit. Lars is coming into the pits, and he retires from the race, so pretty much summing up how the season has gone for the Mercedes driver. He'll be hoping for better next time around. And while all this has been going on, two Alfa Romeo staying in the lead, but they're not getting away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something on that Toxic incident, that's completely his fault. He just completely turned over on Simply and just pushed him out wide. I don't really know what the reason for that was from Toxic. I thought he was just trying I just think he was just trying to defend aggressively. Just didn't work. He just squeezed him off the track a bit too far and maybe a bit too aggressively there from Toxic. But we'll just have to wait and see again for the stewards, because that one was quite hard to call, but in my opinion, that's Toxic's fault. He just went over to the racing line when Simply was still there. So again, a bit of poor decision making tonight, but these guys have already shown this evening that everything is all to play for, and they're showing it by the way they're driving, feisty and aggressively.
Yeah, the shackles are off, and I think the stewards are going to have a very busy time of it at the moment. We're on board with Ginger. As it stands, he will be second in the championship behind Kolsper, obviously, and he's behind his teammate Kazizel at the moment. That gap, half a second. It's a further half a second back to Ferreira. And that is pretty much a common theme all the way through the field with Zach Cohen there as well. Gabri just a bit further behind. Ryan doing a pretty decent job on those medium tyres at the moment. We'll see if Toxic can really start putting him under any serious pressure at the moment, but Ryan must be feeling fairly confident at the moment, being the lead car on those mediums. And behind Toxic, it is Boss Wanted and Carlsberg, Phoenix, Simply, Pitmat, D-Screen, Jerry Tupai, Super Mario and Calzo, the final runner, with Lars having retired from this race. And every time I see these DRS trades, Zach is round, Cohen's into the back of him, Gabri is into the back of him, and I wonder if that's something similar to what...
there's a big crash! Boss Wanted, I don't know who he's hit. He's hit someone, but Boss Wanted's out of there. He's not retired, but he's stationary on track. Who's he hit there? I don't actually know.
Ryan, it says, has got a 5-second penalty for severe collision. They seem to be coming through delayed. It's a virtual safety car. Gabri and... Zach, that all started. Zach just lost it on the exit of Young Sao. Cohen went into the back of him. I think Gabri might have gone into the back of him, and then I don't know whether what happened to Boss Wanted was a carry-on from that incident or a completely separate one. We are seeing a few drivers now go onto the hards, Gabri, Ryan and Cherry Tupai. It's almost like everyone's forgot how to drive tonight, I'm going to be honest.
Well, it's almost like everyone's favouring Kalsper again. He's up to 6th place on the medium tyres, far away from D-Screen by a couple of positions, of course, but, this is incredible. Kalsper starts at the back of the grid, almost looks unpredictable. It almost looks like he's not going to win this race. He's finally going to give these guys at the front a go and have a nice battle, and they've all just gone into chaos. They've all gone into meltdown. Kalsper's not at the front. We're all just going to battle, and somehow Kalsper looks like he's actually on to becoming favourite to win this race again. So this is incredible stuff. I don't even think Cohen pitted, and I think he does have damage, doesn't he? No, he doesn't.
How he doesn't? He must have absolutely slammed on the brakes there. So a fantastic job by Cohen to avoid damage. It must have been a bit like the Albon Sainz from Imola, where Sainz somehow avoided stacking it into the side of the Red Bull, but Cohen doesn't have any damage. And I've got to agree with you, Kalsper is only 5 seconds behind. On that alternate strategy, he's going to be looking very good indeed at the moment on those medium tyres, and then of course they'll be going on towards a set of softs at the end of the race. The front three though now, because of that spin from Zach, have built themselves a bit of a gap. Kazizel, Ginger and Ferreira, when will they be coming into the pits? They might be thinking about it now if they wanted to go onto the hards. We'll probably be seeing at least another 2 or 3 laps though if they're going onto the mediums, and I would expect that with the safety car period we had earlier and the VSC. We might even see slightly longer as Forever nearly lighting up the rear tyres on traction there. Can Toxic, as we move back to 4th and 5th, can Toxic get on the back of Cohen? Will we see some team orders between these guys? Because we know the McLarens have worked well, and we are starting to get to the point where you'd expect those mediums to have the pace over the softs of a similar life.
Well, really, what I think is going to happen now is Toxic is going to stick with Cohen and everything, and the DRS is going to be assisted to Kalsper. Perhaps they will do a switch around, though, when they think that Kalsper is confident enough to keep up to Cohen. And he's keeping up to Toxic at the moment, Kalsper is, and even better, really, for Kalsper is he doesn't really need to use his overtake, so Kalsper right now is just sitting high and dry, sitting behind, not fussing it too much. He's not getting too much pressure from behind from Black Phoenix now, obviously because those tyres aren't exactly in great shape, but Cohen right now in 4th place, a little bit under pressure, and I mean, I don't really know what I mean by under pressure, when he was able to somehow not get damage from Zach, but he's up in 4th place at the moment, and he will be loving it right now, but he won't be getting too comfortable too soon. He's got 2 McLarens right onto the back of him with DRS as well. Will Toxic be attacking, or will he be conserving? It looks like it will be conserving just for now, and I'm not surprised. He'll be just looking to give as much slipstream to Kalsper as possible until Kalsper is then eventually passes to, or alternatively, eventually Cohen comes into the pits.
Yeah, well, Cohen obviously didn't pit under the safety car, and neither did any of these front three, where the last time around there was a change for the lead. Ginger getting ahead of Kazizel on the run towards turn 4 then with Desida Delago. So Kazizel now in 2nd place. Ginger takes the lead as he looks for his 3rd win of the season. Further back behind Forever, you have still got this train of Cohen, Toxic and Kalsper at the moment, although it sounds like there might have been a bit of an incident with Kalsper, judging by the chat at the moment, so that's going to be interesting to see if anything happens with that at the end of the race. But yes, Ginger still in the lead then at this moment in time. When will we see those front 4 drivers come? Toxic's lost it over the bump, completely off the track, and then that just resets you bang in the middle. Trust me, I know, because this is on Forever. I'm not sure if they saw the spin in the background or dived into the pits in case there was a safety car or something, but they have come into the pits. Kazizel and Forever in, and Toxic as well. Obviously, he'll have cut those tyres at this moment in time. It'll be mediums for all 3 of them. They will come out in some free air. They'll come out behind Calzo in what will be 9th, 10th, and 11th place, respectively. Quite a tricky pit exit here, very easy to get it wrong and damage part of your car. As further back, Zach, he's recovering up through the field, moves his way. Well, he's actually going to get ahead of Toxic, I think. It's not going to have worked out for him. He's going to be very close to these guys, and he's just going to be behind Zach and Gabri. So Ginger still in the race lead, and Kalsper is only taking him 15 laps. He's in a podium place.
Yep, it's only taking him 15 laps, and you know what? He's putting Cohen under pressure. I reckon the soft tyres will not go for much longer. And Kalsper making a rare mistake there, oh my word, going well wide at that corner. That must be the dirty air from Cohen, but he doesn't need to rush too much. He's just sitting behind right now, and although it looks like he's rushing a little bit, he knows Cohen is pitting soon. And there we go, into the pits goes the Mercedes driver. Ginger into the pits, and well, this isn't the first time we've said this. Kalsper leads this race.
Yes, Kalsper in the lead of the race then. 21 laps to go, so still a long time. He will have to come into the pits again, as will Black Phoenix, who is now up into 2nd place on that set of soft tyres. Pitmat 3rd, D-Screen in 4th place. It's all pretty much kicked off if you haven't watched the first 15 laps of this race. I'd suggest you go back. There's been incidents galore. We get the pit stops up. You can see so many drivers. Kalsper and Black Phoenix have already made 2 stops each. It is really only Pitmat and D-Screen who haven't pitted. A few other drivers, Toxic, Cherry and Boss Wanted, having made 2 stops as well. Despite all that, we've only had 1 retirement, and the undercut did work for Kazizel. He's back in the net lead of this race at this moment in time, trying to obviously catch up to the back of Calzo, who will be coming in soon. And then after that, he will have a bit of free air to use those medium tyres, because you can guarantee Kalsper is going to be lightning fast towards the end of this race on that set of softs.
Yep, and surprise, surprise, because Zizzle now ahead of Ginger. He's actually made the undercut work, so big ups to him. Ferreira actually is on the back of these two. We haven't talked about Ferreira again, and he's looking quite decent. Although Kalsper looks likely to perhaps take another win, or at least a definite podium, although we do have to realise these guys have nothing much more to play for, so they're going to literally go right at it here tonight, and I wonder if Ferreira is going to be defending for his life. Oh, and I say that, oh my goodness, this damn commentator, I don't even know, because he keeps lagging about, but I thought he just completely lost the car then, but he didn't. Fortunately, but like I said, really, Ferreira will probably fight for his life, and I don't know whether Cohen perhaps will get ahead of Kaus, but that'll be very interesting to see as well. So, Kaus at the moment in a good position, but really, he's not in a home dry position right now.
No, what is going to make it hard is that DRS trade. Because this old Ginger and Ferreira all stick together, he's going to have to try and work someone, maybe find somewhere else to overtake. At the moment, he's got a fairly comfortable lead over Black Phoenix, who, on those soft tyres, I don't know if he's trying to stretch them long enough to go onto another set of softs, because he has been on the medium tyres at some point in this race, although I would expect him to maybe pick this lap or the next lap to go onto a set of mediums. D-Screen, though, haven't spoke about him. He's in third place, yet to pit at the moment. He'll be going on for another few laps to get onto the soft tyres. Had a good start to his season in Italy, where he looked really quick. It just hasn't really gone to plan for him since then. Hasn't shown that same amount of pace, that 7th place actually being his best finish that he got at the Italian Grand Prix. And we are nearly halfway through the race at the moment. We've still had only one retirement. We've got a familiar leader in Kalsper, but Kazizel will take that lead after the pit stops, and it does look as though Kalsper would drop behind Cohen and possibly drop behind Simply as well.
Yeah, and that's Simply really, but you do realise his medium tyres, they're going to be way better than Kalsper's right now, and the mediums look like they're on the same sort of level as the softs right now. Kalsper stays out. Black Phoenix still staying out on those soft tyres. He believes they're going to go longer, and he's going to stay out until he's out of DRS, I reckon, from Kalsper. So that DRS is aiding him quite well for Black Phoenix, and I wonder if he is doing another set of softs after this, because obviously he started on the medium tyres, like you said. So I wonder if this is what Black Phoenix is trying to do. We know what Kalsper is trying to do. We know what D-Screen is trying to do. D-Screen, though, is miles off compared to Black Phoenix and Kalsper. So these two at the front are massive factors. And who actually knows at this point what's going to be happening as soon as these guys pit?
Yeah, who knows what could happen. Toxic. Oh, and Calzo's retired from the session. That is in the pit, so won't have an effect. That's our second retirement. We're down to 16 runners. Toxic and Zach, as they try and recover from their respective spins at Young Sao, get themselves, well, Toxic gets himself ahead of Zach. He is now into 10th place. They'll be trying to push onto the back of pit mat, and Black Phoenix has dropped outside of DRS range, so this might be the lap he comes into the pits. No, he's going on a bit longer. He is definitely trying to stretch those softs out onto a set of mediums, and well, onto another set of softs, and he pits this lap. He's done 16 laps on the softs already. He'll have another 16 to do. It is very doable. Further back, though, for the net lead of this race is the closest Ferreira's look to the back of Ginger, but unfortunately for him, Ginger has the DRS as well, and he's just able to stay ahead of the, I believe he's Spanish. I apologise if I've got that wrong, but I believe Ferreira. I should have really thought about what I was saying then before I started coming out with that. Anyway, Ferreira's in third, net third in the racing point, because he's all 12.5 seconds off the lead, so these three, and Cohen and Simply, will be well clear. And in fact, Simply is starting to show a bit more pace. He's looking as though he's closing onto the back of Cohen. And if he can get DRS, that's going to make it more difficult for when Kalsper wants to get ahead of both of these cars.
Yeah, and Kalsper obviously extending well away now from Black Phoenix. Black Phoenix don't even seem like a problem anymore. 1.7 seconds behind. He surely is going to come in this lap, Black Phoenix. I cannot see him staying out any longer. Looking at the intervals, though, he's not losing time to D-Screen, but yeah, there he goes into the pits, but he's losing a substantial amount of time to Kalsper. So he's going to come into the pits. This is going to be really interesting to see. Is he going to go for another set of softs, knowing those softs can actually make around 17 laps? And yes, he is. So Black Phoenix going full pursuit to the end. Whether he'll be able to get past the drivers if he wants to, who knows? He's still coming out of the pits. He's going to be behind Simply. I think he's just about going to be ahead of Pit Matt there. So Black Phoenix coming out in 8th place, it looks like.
Yeah, that's crucial, getting out ahead of Pit Matt on that soft tyres. Now, how much advantage can he make? As he just cuts over the pit line ever so slightly. Will have just got himself a warning for that, so no harm done. Can he possibly make up that margin on a fantastic in-lap here? Because Kalsper's 17-lap-old mediums aren't going to be good whatsoever at the moment. D-Spreen's got 20-lap-old mediums, so surely he's coming in as well. He's now going to start holding up Cazizol, Ginger and Ferreira behind, and it looks like Simply has just dropped ever so slightly off the back of Cohen for the battle for what is now 6th and 7th place. So Kalsper staying out a bit longer. He wants to make sure those softs are very fresh towards the end of this race. D-Spreen in second for now, but very soon I think he's going to find himself down in 3rd position, even if he doesn't come into the pits, which he hasn't, because Cazizol streaks up the inside on the brakes and gets that position done. So Cazizol now into 2nd, as I thought we were going to see a bit of contact, and Ginger's going to have so much more pace here. He can nearly go all the way round the outside. It's all on the DRS here, and in fact he's going to maybe try and get past Cazizol as well. He's had to lift off ever so slightly there. He got such a good one, but unfortunately for him, D-Stream was in the way, so he couldn't go round the outside. That's both of them ahead, and this has really worked out bad for Ferreira, because he's going to be stuck behind D-Stream at this part of the track where it is very difficult to overtake.
Yeah, and Ferreira will be looking to get past immediately. We have seen overtakes, so he's going on quite a wider line. Obviously, because he's tried to do what Hamilton tried to do to Albon, it didn't quite work out though. Those tyres are absolutely done though on D-Spreen's cars. They are not going to go any more than another 5 or 6 laps, so he is definitely pitting again for Sauce. Kalsper in the pits then, so this is interesting, and it looks like Ferreira's going to go around the outside. That's unique. To do that. Is he going to do it? It looks like he does. D-Spreen comes into the pits anyway, but Kalsper onto the set of softs, and now the charge will begin for the McLaren driver.
Yes, and this could be very interesting indeed. Where is he going to come out relative to Black Phoenix? This is going to be so close, and I think the Williams is just going to have him here, and he's got DRS, so that undercut has worked brilliantly. Black Phoenix managing to basically go from the soft tyres to another set of softs thanks to the safety car. Black Phoenix then in 6th place at the moment, the lead car on the softs. He's on the back of Simply, who is on the back of Cohen. Cazizol now leads the race with Ginger in 2nd. Ferreira really a big loser just from getting stuck there behind the back of D-Spreen. He's now 2.2 seconds off the lead of the race, so 3rd is the best he can hope for, and he'll be hoping that Phoenix and Kalsper get stuck ever so slightly behind Simply and Cohen, as Chevy Tupai is out, and that is a full safety car. Well, he's had a big moment on the exit of turn 4. So Chevy Tupai out of this race, a full safety car. Are we going to see any of these front guys dive into the pits?
Wow, well, Cazizol's going. Ginger is slowing right down, so this does suggest he's going to. Yes, he is. Same with Ferreira. Cohen's staying out, though. We have someone staying out. Everyone else coming in, except from Simply and Cohen. They believe those mediums are just fine ahead of Black Phoenix and Kalsper. This is well controversial now. Cazizol is now behind Kalsper now. Ginger, I think, got held in the pits. He must have done, because he's been jumped by Ferreira as well. So now this is a really good battle. You've got the two front runners on the medium tyres, and, well, I said this before, obviously, we were saying that Lars has surely got to win in the Netherlands because he was on the soft tyres, and, well, a certain Kalsper was on the hard tyres, and somehow, Kalsper still held on to that. Black Phoenix right now is the lead car on the soft tyres. This is what he wanted. This is his saviour. His tyres at the end would be dogged compared to Kalsper's. His tyres would be done 2 laps before Kalsper's, and now his tyres are probably going to be more balanced out towards Kalsper. Obviously not entirely, but his tyres definitely won't be as wary as much at the end of this race. But these two medium runners is what I want to see, because these two could be very interesting indeed off the restart and at the end of the race.
Yeah, they're probably going to struggle on the restart. They've got to hope that there's all sorts of battling happening behind them. So Cohen and Simply, it's worth a shot. You've got to credit them for going something different. Boss Wanted has stayed out on the hard tyres as well. He's down in 14th. It's probably worth him just coming into the pits and putting on a fresh set of the softs if he's got any. So the final third of the final race of the F3 season, lap 25 out of 38, and we're going to check the penalty situations. Cohen
Ferreira
has no penalties, and Ferreira's left the session. Hopefully he can get himself back in. Black Phoenix will have served his 5-second penalty now, so don't have to worry about that. Carlsberg doesn't have a penalty. Zizzle kept it clean as well. It's been very clean at the moment. D-Spreen, again, clean. Ferreira, clean, but out of the session. So pretty much everyone that I've looked so far in the top 10, Toxic does have a penalty. Zach's clean as well. So in the top 10, I think it is only Toxic with a penalty at the moment, which is good to see. Black Phoenix, the fastest lap of the race has finally come up on the bottom of my screen, but Black Phoenix definitely did not set that on the last lap, and Ferreira is back in the session. So hopefully he can regain control of his car, because it would not surprise me if the safety car's coming in this lap and we're going to have 11 fantastic laps to end the season.
Oh, this is very, very interesting indeed. We see Kalsper in 4th place right now, the champion-elect, who did start at the back of the grid. He chose that option to start at the back of the grid today. Didn't start that on quali time, so he went into the race, well, for most of these drivers, pretty blind of what Kalsper's pace is here, and he's up into 4th right now. And I tell you something now, him and Black Phoenix are going to basically fight to the death, including Kazizzle as well. Let's not forget good old Kazizzle also to that list, who potentially could be taking his first ever victory in PSGL. And same with D-Spreen as well. D-Spreen is someone we're not talking about, and Ferreira, but I think Ferreira left. He's back now. But those guys are going to be the main hot runners. But do watch out for D-Spreen, because he got off those medium tyres at the perfect time. And now he's in a really good position to potentially take a really unlikely podium. And the safety car's come back. D-Spreen's overtaken Kazizzle. He's going to give that position back. But that was interesting indeed.
Yeah, we are back racing again. Already Black Phoenix nearly ahead, and D-Spreen has shot past Kazizzle, but Kazizzle retakes the position once again. Not the best restart for Kazizzle, and they've already lost a lot of time to the front 4 cars. So it's still Cohen, Simply, Black Phoenix at the moment. Ferreira trying to have a go at D-Spreen for now 6th and 7th place, with Toxic getting ahead of Ginger as well. Ginger's just slowing everyone down. Earlier on, of course, when the safety car came out to try and give himself the free air, didn't quite work. Pretty much everyone on the soft tyres, apart from the front 2 cars. And look at Black Phoenix trying all sorts of lines to take advantage of those soft tyres at the moment as he tries to get himself ahead of Simply. And in the end, you can see Simply just locking up at the moment. This is going to be a fantastic end to the race. No DRS until lap 28, of course. The first time they'll be able to use it is on the back straight between turns 3 and 4. On lap 28, and Black Phoenix might not need it, because that is a big moment there from Simply, who's going to have to go very defensive on the run down to turn 1 here. Here's review from the back of the Alpha Tauri. 10 laps to go. Cohen has retained his lead. Black Phoenix going for the inside then in the Williams. Gets the position done. Can Simply manage to hold on the inside? No, he cannot. And now Carlsberg's got so much more grip. He's going to go all the way round the outside here at turn 3. Simply is still hanging on in there, He's still going to try and hold on here to the position, but no, Carlsberg gets the move done, and now Kazizzle all over the back of him. Ferreira and Toxic battling, so Toxic must have dropped behind Ginger as well. As you can see here, Kazizzle on the inside line gets his way up into 4th place. That's probably bad news now for Cohen, because he's going to have Black Phoenix all over the back of him, and in a lap's time, he'll have DRS.
Yep, and Kazizzle looking very close indeed. Cohen now has to watch out because he has Black Phoenix behind. But interestingly, Ferreira's fell back even more. Toxic in 8th, Ferreira in 9th, Zach in 10th. This has been one to forget for Ryan, really. He was in a really good spot for this race. And obviously something happened, I think, with Zach, and it caused him to get wing damage and come into the pits. He's all the way down now in 13th. He'll be absolutely furious with the way this race has gone. He looks to be looking to the inside of pit mat. Is he going to get the move up? It's not for position, it's not for anything else, it's just for pride! And well, that didn't exactly work out to plan. Broke a little too late, and luckily didn't send pit mat flying.
No, he did manage to get ahead. Super Mario's now got a good run, though, on pit map, but he's going to have to go around the outside at turn 4, which is not really a great opportunity to overtake, and pit map does just stay ahead for now. Up ahead, though, Cohen actually holding on to that position for now. Black Phoenix in second. Kalsper, that man, again, 9 wins this season and a second place so far, and that is why he is the champion. He's been absolutely dominant, started from the back of the grid. Looks like he's going to get a podium. At worst, could well manage to somehow get another victory. As it's been a bit of contact between Ginger and D-Screen, and that's sent D-Screen backwards. Ferreira and Toxic getting ahead as well, and now Zach all over the back of the Ferrari. So Ginger's at the front of this sort of DRS train at the moment for the lead of this race. So Black Phoenix, first time he's been able to use DRS on the main straight, and Cohen not really even bothering to defend. He knows he's lost that position. Black Phoenix takes the lead. Kalsper giving Cohen a slight little tap up the back there, just to remind the Mercedes that he's there. Zach's backwards had a big moment there at turn 1, just able to hold on to it. Cohen defending from Kalsper here. He's not defended hard enough, though. The McLaren down the inside, very late on the brakes. Now he gets that move done, and you'd expect them to be able to get away. Kazizel all over the back of Cohen. There's not going to be a gap down the inside there. Cohen left him room, which is fair enough, and he might be rewarded here. Kazizel down the inside. Great driving from the pair of them. They're still going side by side. Cohen, he wants that second podium this season. He wants to prove that it was the right strategy. He now drops behind Kazizel. Now it's all about these front 3 to see what they can do on these soft tyres, because Cohen and Simply are together. Now that they're in the DRS train, it might be harder for Ginger, Toxic, Ferreira and the rest to overtake. This could well be a slipstream to the line between Phoenix and Kalsper and Kazizel on the final lap.
Yep, and Kalsper looking very close about Phoenix. This is what happens. DRS said no one's got the ERS hit, but Kalsper down the inside. It's originally the lead, places his car perfectly again here. I do think, though, now Black Phoenix has the DRS. He's going to come launching right back at Kalsper, I reckon. Here we go to the inside. Kalsper goes defensive. What about Black Phoenix? Is he looking at it? No, he's just going to sit behind for now. The more these two battle, though, it brings in Kazizel as well, who's got no pressure from behind him. He's just going to be running his own game here. It's literally a sprint to the line, and who's going to have DRS for that final lap, that final moment? Is it going to be Kalsper, Black Phoenix, or Kazizel? Is a huge question, and it will be answered in 6 laps' time.
Yeah, Ginger's managed to go round the outside of Simply, and now Toxic is trying that as well. So he's really fighting hard to try and get ahead of Simply here, who of course stayed on the mediums, as did Cohen down the young side at Young Sao. Very aggressive move from Toxic, but he had to do that, and Ferreira trying to fight his way back up as well. Let's not forget, he was with Kazizel and Ginger earlier, just lost a little time due to D-Screen, and they're still side by side here. Simply and Ferreira pretty much identical as they head across the line. Simply, though, has the outside line. He's on the older tyres, but he's managed to hold on to that position, and Ferreira right on the back of him. Will he be able to get the move done into turn 3? There's Gabri behind, who has a 5-second time penalty to add on to his race for an incident last time around. He can't take advantage as Pitmat and D-Screen. There's all sorts of battles happening everywhere you look here. D-Screen really seemed to struggle for whatever reason. He is now down into 14th position, only Super Mario behind him. Kalsper holding on that lap. This could also be about who can save their ERS the best as well, because whoever's in the front is going to have to do some manic defending on that final lap.
Yeah, but the problem with this now is that Black Phoenix's tyres, they're going to be much worse for wear than Kazizel's. You'll see here, he's much more confident on the braking. Look on the throttle here on the exit. He will close in to Black Phoenix. Black Phoenix braking the toe, perhaps ignoring that. But look at this. This should be a really good opportunity now for Kazizel to perhaps make his move. Black Phoenix defended to the inside. It's not going to matter. Kazizel to the inside. Very close between the two of them. Contact there. No damage though, obviously. Good exit from Kazizel, but decent defending from Black Phoenix. It's not going to work though. To the outside comes Kazizel. Is he going to get the move done around the outside? Brakes marginally later. And look at this. He has the inside line. Black Phoenix still stays ahead. This is going to be the battle for second. Stop it, boys. You're going to let Kalsper win this race at this point. Kazizel is still fighting for that second place, but the more they battle, Kalsper now is very close to getting a second clear.
Yeah, and as soon as he gets the second clear, I've got to think, with that ERS and the slightly fresher tyres than Black Phoenix, it might well be game over. That battling has allowed Ginger to catch up to these guys because he's now managed to dispatch with Cohen. So Ginger up into 4th place. Only got 4 laps to go. It looks like Carlsberg is going to take the victory. We'll have to see if Black Phoenix and Kazizel and Ginger can maybe just get onto the back of all of them, because Carlsberg, he does have a bit more VRS, but he hasn't got the DRS to punch that hole through the air at the moment. Looks like it's all calmed down between those guys at the moment. Further back, Gabri looking close to the back of Ferreira, and a very steady lap that time around from everyone into the centre S. Toxic nearly losing it in the dirty air on the back of Cohen, so that means he's not going to be able to close in on the back of Mercedes. Pretty much everyone running out of ERS here, and I think that's why the battles just seem to have calmed down ever so slightly. We're not really able to calm down at the moment because we don't quite know who's going to end up taking the victory here. Carlsberg in the lead though, Phoenix second, Kazizel in third with Ginger not too far behind as well. Cohen desperately on those medium tyres, trying to stay in contact because he knows as soon as he loses that DRS, he's going to find it very hard to defend from Toxic. Likewise, simply trying to defend from Ferreira as well. Down to 14 cars. And this time around, it seems like Phoenix has closed up ever so slightly to the back of Carlsberg, but he's still not going to be close enough to really put them under threat. Has a bit of a slide coming through Young Sal there. 3 laps remaining as Carlsberg heads towards the finish line now to complete lap 33.
Yeah, and Kazizel is getting closer. It's a DRS train, literally the whole field, except from Cohen now. And so it's very difficult to overtake. We see it overtake. So Ryan makes the move. He's not giving Gabri too much space there. Up to 9th. We saw Ferreira make a move. We might be able to see Simply make a move on a soft runner here. So those medium tyres looking just about balanced with the softs now. But Cohen moving further behind. Toxic getting closer. Black Phoenix still not close enough to challenge Carlsberg at the moment. And I tell you what, Carlsberg sends his ERS magnificently. He's on 50%. Compared to Black Phoenix, who's half that, and Kazizel is not doing too badly either, but he's a little worse for wear compared to Carlsberg at the moment. So, really, at this point, you want to say it's Carlsberg winning, unless any significant mistake. But I tell you something now, this race is not over whatsoever.
No, it wouldn't surprise me if Carlsberg's using a bit of spare fuel that he might have saved with the 2 safety car periods and a VSC period as well. So Black Phoenix, again, he's very low on ERS, and Kazizel is as well. Is Kazizel going to be close enough to go down the inside? All around the outside, he sent a very late move up the inside there into the first part of the centre S, and he's managed to get the position done. Absolutely fantastic move from Kazizel. But now Black Phoenix is going to have the DRS, and again, this just allows Carlsberg to get away. They've both got DRS, and Kazizel holds on to the position. He is in second place at this moment, runs slightly wide over the curb there. Is that going to give Black Phoenix a run all the way around the outside into Ferragora? This is going to be a very brave move if he can pull it off. They're side by side, surely. This is just going to slow them down, and now Ginger's right at the back. Gabri has had to come into the pit, so he's down in 14th, and somehow Carlsberg's winning this race.
Yep, somehow, and it looks like it's going to be that way. We're getting very close to the detection point. I can't see Kazizel making 4 attempts up here in one corner. Out of the final corner we go then. Kazizel in second place, and he is not in DRS range, and he's going to have to defend from Black Phoenix. I don't think he may have to, because Ginger is coming to the outside to attack Black Phoenix. So now it's going to be Ginger versus Kazizel. So Kazizel now is in trouble for that second place, and well, we have to say it's been a great season all season for Carlsberg. This must be one of the great races that he's had this season, because, you know, last to first and everything, that was the challenge, and it looks like he's just about to complete it, but we just still need to see the end result for second place. And obviously there's a little bit of slack in the chat saying that Carlsberg's done something, so we will have to wait for official results, but Carlsberg very close to a very historic victory.
Yeah, it does look like it might have to be a mistaken identity for Carlsberg, so he might be pretty clear on his run down to a 10th win of the season from 14 races, and he wasn't even here for one of those races. It has been an absolutely dominant season. This will go down in PSGL history as one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant season they have ever seen. It is a 10th win of the year for our champion. Carlsberg heads across the line to take the victory. Kazizel will be in second, Ginger third, Black Phoenix is in fourth. Toxic's penalty in the end not costing him too much, simply bumps his way up to 6th. Zach 7th, Cohen picks up some points in 8th, 4 thousandths of a second ahead of Ferreira, who himself was only 35 thousandths ahead of Pitmat, who gets the final points. Ryan, Boss Wanted, Super Mario, as Gabri rounds the final corner. He will be the final finisher, but the man's done it again. 18th on the grid to 1st. Carlsberg takes the victory.
Yep, very strong performance, and well, driver of the day, driver of the season for Carlsberg, I must say. Very, very incredible season. I do not believe it. Honestly, seeing him in the top 7 of the podium, we were having a little bit of laughs, weren't we? We were having a little bit of a laugh at the start of this stream that we may try and get Carlsberg in this session because he's obviously won the championship this season. We just want to hear his words, even if he gets on the podium or not. And, well, look at that. Like, he's won the race anyway.
Yeah, I think I did say before I might as well just invite him at the start of the session to save me time at the end, because he's probably going to be on the podium anyway. And he proved not just to be on the podium, he was on the top step with that victory despite making 3 pit stops. Kazizel in second, Ginger managing to recover in the end to get past up into third. Black Phoenix, another top 5 finish for him at the end of the season, just couldn't quite get onto the podium. Toxic in 5th, Simply 6th, Zach recovering from his spin to take 7th. Cohen, that penalty in the end dropping into 8th. Ferreira was 9th. He looked as though he could have a chance of taking the win earlier. Pitmat picks up the final points, and then Ryan, Boss Wanted, Super Mario, Gabri with that fastest lap right at the death. He's the final finisher. Then D-Screen, Cherry 2 Pie, Calzo and Lars, the retirements. Pretty much a crazy race start to finish. There's no other way of summing that up.
I mean, the start. I don't know what to say. That first half of the race, the amount of incidents we actually saw was really, really ballistic. I was not expecting that. There were so many incidents. There was so much unpredictability in this race, and you know, there was a couple of virtual safety cars. There was 2 safety cars, I believe, or was there 1? I can't remember, but you know, Carlsberg's used it to his advantage, and you know, it's a similar face on the podium. It's a similar face on the top step of the podium for a 10th time this season in Carlsberg.
As we said, a fantastic victory in the end there for Carlsberg. Didn't really put a foot wrong in the race, while a lot of other drivers had some problems, and then a decisive overtake on Black Phoenix, and was able to save his ERS better than some of those behind him, and that's why he's got the victory.
Really, on the final 2 laps, it cost him so much time, and well, Carlsberg got away, didn't he? And you know, at the end of the day, he's won it because you know, he's kept out of trouble. He's kept out of these battles. He's just continued moving forward, and when he's done that, he's gone to win the race. And what an impressive driver! What an impressive season! And you know, we can't even say anything different to the 2 that join us now in Ginger and Kazizel, both on the podium again.
Yes, so we'll start with the man who finished in 3rd place then, and that was Ginger, 2nd in the championship for yourself. Overall, a really good season.
Yeah, I'm really satisfied with my season. Of course, getting the 2 wins. Maybe if it went a little bit more my way, I could have gone maybe more, but P2, I was never gonna get P1 in the championship with the way I started the season, so I got wins, I got poles, I got good racing. Really happy with the racing in this tier. So yeah, really happy with the season and with the result today.
Yeah, a good job from yourself. How was the race today? There was a lot of safety cars and virtual safety cars, so was it sometimes hard to maybe keep your concentration up?
Yeah, it started off quite interesting because I spun, but managed to stay in P2. I don't know how I got so lucky there. everyone crashed into me. I didn't get damaged, and they put me straight up again, so I was P2 still, so I got really lucky there, and from there on with the safety car, I just pretty much controlled the race with Kazistel, of course. Kazistel being in the party, we could work together, and drove the perfect race, and yeah, 1-2 for the whole race. Then of course that safety car came out, and we were gutted because, yeah, I also got hauled up in the pits, of course, and I don't know what position we were, but I think like 5th and 8th. So yeah, I had to really fight for it, and all of a sudden, like 5 laps before the end, I was like, oh man, I'm losing this P2 in the championship to Black Phoenix, and then Cassis was like, okay, I'm gonna send it on Black Phoenix, like, yeah, I've never seen it before, and he drove absolutely perfect with that move on Black Phoenix, and then I could overtake him as well. So yeah, it was such an enjoyable race. I think we deserved 1-2, but yeah, Casper, yeah, we got lucky with the safety car, so it's nothing. We couldn't have done anything different, so we must be satisfied with 2-3 today.
Yeah, like I said, 2-3 for the Alfa Romeo team, and Kazizol getting 2nd position. Your best result of the season, so close to getting a victory there.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I felt so good that whole race. I felt so confident. I didn't even feel this confidence in Japan when I was leading. I was like, yeah, this is going really well. And just before the safety car came out, I was like, Ginger, this is looking quite good. And it came out, and the first thing I thought was Kalsper. Oh god, came out behind him, and I was just like, oh god, it's going to be a fight. To be honest, I still thought there was a chance I can get in, but I just couldn't get past everyone quick enough. And as a result, he was able to save a bit of ERS and put away, which was a bit unlucky from our part. But I'm literally just going to copy everything Ginger said. I don't think we could have done anything else different. I think we drove the best we could have, and I think luck today did help Casper along with his pace. So yeah, I think that's everything I can say, to be honest. So close to that win, but sometimes you just got to accept it and move on.
Yes, very close indeed, and who knows, without that safety car could have well have been a 1-2. But the man who's taken a 10th win, 1-0 wins out of 13 races that he took part in, it is Kalsper doing it from 18th on the grid. And after that first lap where there was some sort of incident that you were not quite sure if you were involved in it or not, I don't think you would have expected to take the victory here.
I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe I've won that race, man. Like, last race on pad, I said I was gonna give it absolutely everything from all the experience I've gained over the last 5 years from league racing, and as they were saying, yeah, there was a bit of luck to it, but I'm just happy that like my pace and that just came through. Like, I know luck was a major factor, but I'm still shocked I won the race, even after getting wing damage on lap 1. That I was lucky a virtual safety car came out. I think it was a virtual, and yeah, I put on the soft tyres. Then I immediately pitted again to put on mediums because I didn't want to copy the same strategy as the top 10, because I wanted to do something different to try and win the race.
I mean, and it worked in the end. It did. Like you said, great timing from yourself. And last race on the pad. Are you putting in the practice now for season 27? Or are you putting in the practice on the wheel with no line as well to maybe get into F1 or F2?
But even with line, I could not even. I don't even think like I would get an F3 seat. Like,
Shush.
that's obvious.
Shush, you will.
I'm
You got time.
There's
Sign up
time,
and get back in F3 next season. Just do it. You've got time. Just do
But
it.
obviously, like, as was my last race on pad, I will be taking a little bit of a break while I practice on wheel. Hopefully get up to my pace on that, but yeah.
For Rosberg.
Well, yeah, I get where you're coming with that Nico Rosberg remark, to be fair, but there we go. Like, fantastic season for yourself. I know you said you're taking a break. Are you thinking, depending on how things go, you might sign up halfway through the season as a reserve and see what you can do?
Yeah, I am thinking about signing up like halfway through. Maybe not as a full-time driver, but as a reserve. Like get back into the swing of things, like with league racing. But I just need a break, man. Like, I've been racing for quite a while now, and I think it's time just for a little break after the amount of hours that I've been putting into league racing and that.
Well, you've definitely earned the break. So congratulations to our top three. Sam, do you have any questions?
Yep, question for Kazizzle and Ginger respectively. Starting off with the man who finished P2 today, Kazizzle. The question is you two obviously have signed up for PSGL next season, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Are you two expecting to get into F2, or do you reckon F3 is going to be your home next season? And if so, what are your expectations for next season?
Well, I'm no assist, so I'm hoping I'm in F2. But if I am in F2, I mean, I don't expect much because I've seen their pace. It's ridiculous how fast they are, so I'm not really sure, to be honest, so I just got to try my best at least.
Yeah. And Ginger?
Yeah, I use lines, so I'm not expecting to turn it off. So gonna be in F3, I would expect. And yeah, what to expect really depends on, I don't know how many guys in F2 use lines. So I at least know that Chapelele is coming to F3, so that will be a hell of a fight. So yeah, it just depends on the grid. I hope I can fight. I always want to fight for wins. I'm a very competitive person, so yeah, it just depends on the grid. But as it stands now, if maybe for podiums and maybe for wins, I don't know. Let's just hope for a little bit of a closer title fight than this season. Let's just say that.
Yeah, well, great season from all three of you. Like, not even just Kalsper. Of course, we have to give it to Kazizzle as well. Came in halfway through the season. Should have had a few more podiums than he actually did. Obviously, a few things changed that. And obviously Ginger as well. Being the only driver, I believe, to get multiple wins excluding Kalsper this season. So all drivers deserve all the respect in the world, in my opinion. So obviously for next season, all three of you, if Kalsper does sign up, that is, like, we wish you the best for wherever you'll be next season.
Yeah, so cheers for that, Sam. Cheers to our top three as well. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched us throughout the season when we started. All the many times ago, even before the season started, the evaluation races, so many months ago when we all thought we'd only be locked down until about July. And then obviously Austria when the season started in August, to the end at Brazil, and all the way through the season, one man has looked dominant, and he was dominant again tonight, taking his 10th win of the season, Kalsper. He won't be back next year. The others will be, and we might see some reshuffles. If you watch this and think, I fancy a piece of the action, why not join? Sign-ups are open now for PSGL Season 27, and even if you're on the dark side with an Xbox, you could also join this time. For the first time, PSGL is expanding out. If you've got a PC, you might just have to wait until Season 28. Sorry about that. That is it, though, from all of us. Thank you to Sam for being a fantastic commentary partner throughout the season. Cheers to all the divers. Cheers to the admin team. Cheers to everyone involved. But thanks most of all to you guys for sticking with us and watching. And from myself and Sam, see you around. Goodbye.